All right. Have we any other questions? Microphone number 3.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I've actually got 3 questions, and before that I just want to make a comment. I don't agree with a lot of what Shane Elliott says, but I would like to wish Shane you all the very best in your future. I know we've had our disagreements, but Shane is incredibly hard-working. He's totally dedicated to ANZ. It doesn't mean we get it right on a personal basis, and I thought it was very noble of you to sacrifice the long-term variable REM, so that was very nice to hear, and I wanted to wish you all the best.
I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you very much.
Just in case I get shut down, I didn't want to leave.
I'll miss you.
Okay, thank you. Now my first question, I'm happy to rotate for others if that's it, but I've got 3, is regarding Ms. Christine O'Reilly's directorship through you, Chair. And I notice that you're the chair of the Audit Committee. I'm concerned with some things here. I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but KPMG have been auditors since about 1959, before you were born, before I was born. That's too long. When I think of the word governance, I think of directors. All of the directors, not just yourself, should be fully aware that that is too long a period, and that does not give a feeling of independence. Now, I know in your response it's likely to say, that's okay, but we rotate the person that's involved every 5 years or X number of years. It doesn't take away from the auditors being there too long, and I would like to hear that that is going to be rotated.
That's question 1, Craig. Do you want to give us the 3 questions so we can be efficient?
So can I hear that the auditor will be considered to be rotated?
I'll pick that up. I'll answer that in a second. Do you want to give us the other 2 questions?
Okay. The other one was to a director, Ms. Jane Holton. And further to what one of the shareholders was talking previously, you're a director of Clayton Utz, an honorary professor at the National University Research School, an adjunct professor at the University of Sydney, Crown Resorts, or former director at Crown Resorts, but there seems to be about 8 roles that you have. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but there just seems to be too many roles. When I know a director is not a full-time role, I know it's a part-time role. When you're chair of the ethics committee, and I see that there are so many ethical standards that have dropped, it appears to me that you don't have the time. That's across the board at ANZ, and yourself as the accountable person
Thanks,
don't have
Craig.
the time to address those.
And have you got a 3rd question?
I have to come back to you on that one.
Okay, so can I pick up? I'll pick up briefly, and if my colleagues want to add, they may. So yes, KPMG has been our long-term auditor. When we want to make sure we're acting in the best interests of the business, there's actually a bit of a challenge here. It's a very finite pool in Australia of audit firms that have banking experience and banking knowledge. So the audit committee in both its February and September meetings actually considered whether or not we should look at tendering the business and what we should do. Our concern would be that given that the other firms are all engaged with our competitors, the risk is always going to be that we get the B team and we get the leftovers when we swap. So actually, we are setting ourselves up, and we are talking to the sector to see, can we find a way in which we can have a genuinely competitive tender sometime in the future. In the meantime, to your point, we don't rest on that. We actually have a practice of rotating the quality assurance auditor, which last happened, I believe, in 2020. And the signing partner, Maria, who you heard of today, was appointed only in the last 12, 18 months, if I recall. So it's relatively new. And that rotation takes place. But we would like to see a world in which there is rotation of auditors generally. It'd be a healthier world, but there is a constraint.
Yeah, good explanation, thank you. And Maria was excellent before in answering the questions too.
I agree, I agree.
The final point then was just to talk of, and I'm not mentioning my case, but you talk about if you've got a case, see the customer advocate, see the fairness officer, see someone else, and just like Paul said or Rita said before, some of these cases are long-standing. They've been through these people, they can't resolve them, and it's still grossly unfair. ANZ doesn't get it right, and that's why regulators are looking at you. So what I'm wanting to do is to alert all the directors, particularly the new directors coming onto the board. We look at break free, you know, 689,000 customers that ANZ, you said, yes, we misled and deceived them. I'm part of that. Our case has not been resolved, not going into the merits of the case or about the case, but something's wrong with the complaint process, the IDR, the customer advocate, the fairness officer. It's certainly outside of that when you say go see AFCA. AFCA is absolutely failed for the high-level cases. They're a very good small claims tribunal. ASIC, we've seen just pulled up a parliamentary inquiry how bad they are. We've had 70 political inquiries, 70 parliamentary inquiries in the last 15 years into banking, and I'm trying to bring on another one with Paul.
And Craig, I think you mentioned some of these points earlier on this morning as well. So
yes, but I'm directing it to the directors. Look, we've been through painful experiences and we're enduring them. Grossly unfair, absolutely grossly unfair. Our properties are ripped out from us when you've deceived us. So, you know, I can't allow some simple comments like that to go to say the whole process is wrong. And as the new directors, you can step up and look into this is all I'm asking.
Thank you, Craig. And can I answer your second question? But let me,
Yes.
I note your feedback, and I've also had the benefit of having direct discussion with you. So I'm aware of some of your frustrations. Just on the second question, you know, in appointing a board, we want really well qualified people who have, as was made, a point I made earlier today, who have a diversity of experience. And actually, a lot of those appointments, which are quite prestigious, reflect the achievements of Jane in her career and reflect how widely respected she is. I want to assure you that all of our directors are very diligent. They've all demonstrated full capacity for handling their roles, and we feel very fortunate to have all our directors, but particularly Jane, given her achievements.
I would recognise that Jane Holton's highly respected, very experienced, but when I looked at it, I just looked at there wasn't enough banking experience on the board, and I do see that you're bringing that now. I do think that you've done that. I'm finished now, but I would like to thank you as chairman, because one thing that I always appreciate is that you do allow all the critics and the pros and the cons, and whether you're the chair of the fan club of Shane Elliott or opposed to that, all expressions are out there. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Craig, for your ongoing commitment to keeping us honest.